It's time for championship hockey at the DeForest Yards Legacy20 indoor rink here in DeForest, Wisconsin, for the exciting conclusion of the 2026 UHT Madison Winter Cup tournament. This is the championship game for all the marbles. Today's opponent, Mammoth Hockey Club. We defeated them in the second game of the tournament on Saturday morning, yesterday. And I forget what the score was, but Dragons were playing good that day, or yesterday morning anyway. So see if we can do that again today. Dragons get their warm-ups underway. We'll rip through the roster one last time for the final organized game of the season. All right, alphabetical? Yeah, we'll do alphabetical order. Number 19, Grayson Blevins. Number 5, Sterling Burks. Number 11, Easton Cook. Number 7, Braxton Courts. Number 6, Duncan Hill. Number 48, Adelina Johnson. Number 16, Kean Ledbetter. Number 25, Jackson McCoy. Number 29, Nash Moldenhauer. Number 33, Jet Knapziger. Number 77, Houston Richardson. And number 12, Noah Viviano. Well, got to fix the score. There we go. All right. Pekin 10U AA Dragons coaching staff consists of Neil Viviano, assistant coaches Chip Hill, Barry Moldenauer, on the bench Mr. Brian Blevins, and somebody will probably assume the penalty box duties on the fly, I assume. All right, I don't have the overall record for the season like I intended on doing today, but we think back to the beginning of the season. I think we came in the 4th place in the seed round for CSDHL. 6 games played, 3 wins, 3 losses, 0 ties. And then in the regular season, we finished 6th in the Squirt White 2 division with 20 games played, 9 wins, 10 losses, and 1 tie. So not too bad of a record there. We had a pretty long winless streak there towards the end, but Dragons have really turned it around here at the end of the season. Done really well in this tournament and in the playoffs. I think this would be, well, no. Yesterday morning, I think, was a four-game winning streak. And then we lost yesterday afternoon by 1 point at the end of the game, or 1 goal there. So Hawks ended up playing for 3rd place this morning. I didn't see how they did, but all right, let's go Dragons. This is Pekin Dragons, 10U AA hockey. Courts for the face-off, and Mammoth wrestles it across the neutral zone, up the far side, into the Dragon zone, and Knapziger will chase it down in the far corner. The puck deflected back to the back wall, and he'll chase it down again. Races it around the back of the Dragons net, over to the near side. And up the near side boards, dumps it out up in the neutral zone for Braxton Courts, and offside Mammoth. 11:35 left to go in the first period. Still scoreless. Face off in the neutral zone. Moldenauer for the face-off. Forward Viviano, and puck got tipped in to the Dragon zone. Mammoth tried centering one up. Grayson Blevins intercepted that, ripped it off the near side boards for Duncan Hill in the neutral zone. And battling with a Mammoth player there. Mammoth recollects the puck. Forces it over to the far side boards in front of the Dragons bench and in up the far side. Back to Blevins. He'll pass it over looking for Duncan Hill up here in the near side point. And he'll carry it out to the neutral zone up the far side, cross the neutral zone. And back to Viviano. Pokes it up into the face-off circle there. And Mammoth brings it back out. Duncan Hill tried to dump it back into the Mammoth zone. Mammoth carries it back out across the neutral zone and down. Sends a far out shot there. And Burks makes the save. Nafziger back up to Hill on the near side. And across the neutral zone we go. Down. Over cross ice pass looking for Viviano. And we'll battle it over to the far boards. Back to Blevins. And chase it down in the neutral zone. Back over to Nafziger. And here comes Mammoth. Not sure what the whistle was there, if that's a penalty or not. Face off in the neutral zone, so I guess not.
Yes. Okay. I see you. Have a good one.
Courts for the face-off. Drives it over to the near side. And Mammoth slaps it back into the Dragon zone. Blevins races back out across center ice. Mammoth gets in his way. Sends it over off the far boards. And back in up the far side. Blevins battling with him the whole way. And looks like we got a penalty on the play here. Maybe. Nope, offside. 9:51 left to go in the first. Still scoreless. Courts at center, Richardson and Ledbetter on the wing. McCoy and Blevins on defense. Courts in a foot race for it. Mammoth moves it up the near side. Cross ice pass over to the far side boards and back to Ledbetter on the far side. And Richardson lifting the stick there. Going to be a hooking call on Richardson there. 9:30 remaining in the first period. Dragons will be down a man for 1:30. Face off in the Dragon zone. And course for the face-off. Around some Mammoth players. Forces it out to the neutral zone. Offside again. 1:26 left in the Richardson penalty. 9:26 left to go in the first. Face-off in the neutral zone in front of the Dragons bench. Courts for the face-off. Slaps it across the neutral zone. Mammoth sends it back in deep to the Dragon zone. And Nafziger will race it down on the back wall. Skates it around the net. Up the near side, dangles some Mammoth players, sends it out to a Mammoth player in the neutral zone. And here comes Mammoth. Courts tries to strip the puck, gets it over on the near side, and here comes Mammoth. Enters into the Dragon zone. And they'll turn it around. Send a shot from the top of the face-off circle. Nafziger will get in the way of that. Uh-oh, got a guy out in front. Ooh, fanned on the shot there, and McCoy got in the way of that. Puck's loose on the back netting, and Burks makes the save. Back to Moldenauer on the back wall. And we're going to have a penalty on the play there for Mr. Jackson McCoy. Looks like he sat a kid down there behind the net. 8:33 left to go in the first period. Dragons will have a 3-on-5 disadvantage. For the next 1:30, we get a guy back and get Richardson back in 33 seconds. Moldenauer at center, Nafziger and Blevins on defense. Moldy for the face-off, back to Blevins, and he'll send it up to the blue line. Mammoth sends a shot from the blue line, wide of the net and over to the near side. Back to Mammoth at the blue line again, can't hold it in the zone. They're buying themselves some time in the neutral zone. Cross ice pass to the near side, and they'll rush it in all the way to the back wall. And Nafziger will collect it behind the Dragons net. Races it up the, got stripped there on the far boards. And shot on goal, save Burks. Puck still loose, and Blevins sends it out to the blue line again. Mammoth held it in, fired one off of Nafziger's leg there, it looked like, and Blevins scoops it up the far side. Dragons got it. Back to a 5-on-4 here. Here comes Quartz, breakaway, sends a shot, and save Mammoth. 38 seconds left in the McCoy penalty, 7:41 left in the first period. Face-off in the Mammoth zone, still scoreless. Nafziger and Blevins on defense. Quartz at center, and Viviano on the wing. Quartz for the face-off. Mammoth rushes it out to the neutral zone. Nafziger back to defend. Picks the puck off there inside the Dragon zone, and he'll turn it around. Races it across the neutral zone, all the way up the near side, and down to the face-off circle. Cuts into the net. Oh, got stripped there, or deflected. Center it up in front of the net there. Uh-oh, yeah, goal, Dragons. Looks like Quartz got that rebound. Dragons up by 1. Short-handed goal, Braxton Quartz. All right. 13 seconds left on the McCoy penalty. Quartz at center, Viviano on the wing, Blevins and Nafziger on defense. And Quartz for the face-off. Kicks the puck through the feet of the referee and the Mammoth player there, and Mammoth brings it back in, up the far side. Dragons are in the way there. Quartz drives into the outside boards, and they'll advance across the neutral zone. Send a shot, glove save, Berksy! 6:54 left to go in the first. Face off in the Dragon zone. And Dragons are back to full strength. Nafziger and McCoy on defense. Viviano and Cook on the wing. Quartz for the face off. Slaps it across the face off circle there, and puck finds its way out to the neutral zone. Face off in the neutral zone, 6:48 left to go in the first. Both teams full strength. Dragons up by 1. Moldenauer at center, Duncan Hill, Easton Cook on the wing, McCoy and Nafziger on defense. Moldy for the face off. Mammoth wins that draw, back to McCoy in the Dragon zone, sends it off the near side boards in the neutral zone, and Mammoth will feed it all the way in back to the far corner. McCoy races over for it, gets there first. Uh-oh, left the puck behind for a second, but he'll dump it all the way down. That'll be a icing call. No, it won't. That's okay. Mammoth collects it behind their net. We're in the right zone, though. Duncan's right at their heels, and so's Moldenauer. Puck gets forced back out to Nafziger in the Dragon zone. Turns it around in center ice. And puck got slapped over to the far side. Back to Cookie. And back to Moldy in the neutral zone. Turns it around, cross center ice again. Dangles the whole Mammoth squad. Got 2 left to beat. Gets around 1. Centering feed, looking for Easton Cook, and he connected, but the puck went to the back wall instead of in the net. And back to Mammoth. Brings it up the near side boards. And they'll dump it all the way down to the back wall for Nafziger behind the net. And Dangles a Mammoth player there, and another one. Tried to get it out of the zone. Mammoth held it in, and puck still in the Dragon zone. Back to Quartz. And he'll drag it out. Scrapes it out to the neutral zone. Got 2 guys in front. Sends a shot from the face-off circle. Save Mammoth. Loose puck over to the near corner this time for Duncan Hill. Sends it back behind the back of the Dragon's net again, or the Mammoth net again, sorry. Back to Quartz. Another one behind the net for Hill. And puck comes over to the near side. One-timer from Mr. Blevins there, and puck spilled back out. McCoy's in a race for it all the way down. And Burks will poke check that back over to McCoy. Oh, just can't exit the zone here. Over to Blevins in the far corner in the Dragon zone. Sends it up the far boards there, and Richardson will tip it out for Moldenauer. Moldenauer got one guy in front. Gets the shot. Oh, just wide of the net over to the near corner, and Courts is racing for it on the near side now. Sends a shot. Oh, bounced it off of Blevins there, and Nafziger races it around up the near side. Spills it out to the neutral zone. He's going to carry it across the neutral zone, down to the face-off circle. Sends a shot. Still loose, and Mammoth will cover it up in the blue paint. 3:57 left to go in the first period. Dragons up by 1. Face-off in the Mammoth zone. Moldenauer at center. Viviano and Richardson on the wing. Nafziger and Blevins on defense. And Moley for the draw over the near boards there. Mammoth feeds it back into their own slot. Viviano tried to get a shot there, got shoved down, and the puck went wide. Over to the far side boards now for Blevins. He'll backhand it back into the zone, all the way into the far corner. Richardson drives it behind the net. Moldenauer trying to get in the way there behind the net, and Mammoth will drag it over to the near side. And Moldy and Viviano trying to get in the way there. Viviano tracks it down in the neutral zone. Ooh, lifted up for Moldenauer there, and here we come. Back into the Mammoth zone. Oh, puck's loose in front of the net. Choking on my coffee here, folks. Sorry about that. Mammoth peels it off the near side, down in the Dragon zone, sends it over to the far corner. And back to Viviano, and he'll clear it out to the neutral zone. Mammoth collects. Richardson comes in after it. And here comes Mammoth. Back in to the Dragon zone. Moldenauer back to Blevins and out to the neutral zone. Mammoth will get there first. Not enough juice on it for icing. They'll collect it. Skate it behind the back of their net. And over to the near side. Back out to the neutral zone. Nafziger checks it in. Cross-ice pass. Uh-oh. Fed it right to a Mammoth player, and he's off to the races. Save Burks over to the near corner. And Nafziger to Richardson. Richardson sends it behind the net in the Dragon zone over to the far corner. And he'll collect it again. Off the near side for Richardson. Oh, can't clear the zone. Back to Nafziger again. Turns it around. Behind the back of the Dragons net. And Richardson feeds it across the neutral zone. Courts racing back for it. And not enough. Didn't get there in time. Icing call. Back to the Dragon zone we go. 1:28 left to go in the first period. Dragons up by 1. Face off in the Dragon zone. Courts at center. Viviano and Cook on the wing. Blevins and McCoy on defense. Courts for the face-off. And Mammoth carries it back into the near corner there. McCoy gets in the way. Back to Courts again. He'll free that puck up. Carries it up the near side. Cross center ice. All the way down into the Mammoth zone. Got 2 guys in front. Puck got loose in front of the net there. Back to Easton Cook, and he'll try to get it back over to Courts. Puck got dumped up the near side, and here comes Mammoth. Can't hold him into the zone. Blevins back to defend. 2-on-1. And shot goes wide off the... Rolls up the far side boards there. Blevins will catch it in the far corner. And back over for Viviano. On the far side, looking for Courts. Gets it up to him, and puck comes over off the near side. Here comes Mammoth back in. Blevins back to defend. The puck will get driven over to the near corner this time. And centered one up off the post. Rattled one off the post, and the puck went over to the far side boards. Can't let him get any more shots like that, and Mammoth has scored. They got I think we get a penalty on that. Yep, so Mammoth scored a goal, ran over the goaltender in the process, and then I think Burks might have chirped at the ref a little bit there, and now we got a penalty. I think Ledbetter will serve that minute. Timeout, Dragons. .6 seconds left in the first period. Mammoth and Dragons tied at 1 goal apiece. And Ledbetter will be serving the, I guess Ledbetter will be serving the penalty for Sterling Burks there. Courts at center, Moldenauer on the wing, Nafziger McCoy on defense. And Courts for the face-off. Mammoth turns it around and center circle there, passes it over to the near side, and Mammoth will bring it in over the blue line. Send a shot, got deflected to the back wall. Why aren't we skating? Oh my gosh. Over the near side. And that's going to do it for the first period of play, folks. All right, 1:07 left in the Burks penalty when we return here. All right, let's go Dragons. Period 2 starts now. Switching sides and going the other way. 1:07 left in the Burks penalty, being served by Kean Ledbetter. Courts center, Moldenauer on the wing, McCoy and Nafziger on defense. And Courts for the face-off. Comes over to Mammoth. And back to Courts. And Mammoth sends it back in, carries it in deep. Nafziger gets in the way there, but Mammoth collects it again. And we're battling in the far corner. Here comes Courts. Back out for Moldenauer across center ice. Got stripped there. And here comes the puck back across the neutral zone. Oh, Nafziger tried to pass it up to Moldenauer there, and Mammoth slaps it back into the neutral zone, carries it in up the near side. Nafziger got in the way there, and he'll turn it around. What is going on? Back to McCoy on the near side. He'll drive it up into the slot area. Mammoth flex it over to the near side. Courts gets in the way of that. And back over to Knapziger. Slaps it across the neutral zone. Mammoth brings it back. And looking for Viviano. Nope. Court. Nope. That's McCoy. Viviano collected in the Dragon zone. Turns it around in front of the net. Sends it off the far side boards there. Icing waved off. That for Mammoth on the back wall. Over to the near side. And Ledbetter. Oh, couldn't get the shot there. Here comes Mammoth. Back across the neutral zone. Knapziger back to defend. Save, Burks! Catches it in the breadbasket. 10:24 left to go in the second period. Mammoth and Dragons tied at 1 apiece. Face off in the Dragon zone. Moldy at center for the face-off. Over to Knapziger there. And lost it in the feet of some Mammoth players. They'll send a cross-ice pass over to the far side. Shot goes wide over to the near side this time, and Moldenauer gets it out of the zone. Up for Hill on the near side. Races it into the Mammoth zone. Sends a shot towards the net there, but just a bit outside. And Mammoth collects it behind their net. Skates it up the far side boards. Knapziger tries to get in the way there. Left it for a guy at the blue line. Sends a shot. Glove save. And puck goes to the back wall. What do we got here? Penalty on a Mammoth player, I hope. Looks like it. All right, that'll work. Didn't see what happened. Somebody got shoved. 9:45 left to go in the second period. Well, maybe that wasn't a penalty. Never mind. Must have been offside. Save, Burks. Kicks it over to the far corner there. Richardson clears it out to the blue line. And just can't clear the zone. Back to Knapziger. Sends it off the far boards across the neutral zone. And Mammoth is going to get there first. Here comes Duncan Hill, though, with some speed, chasing him around the back of the net. And Moldenauer sends a shot across the bow over to the far side there, and Mammoth skates across the neutral zone back into the Dragon zone. And Knapziger got in the way of that. Brought the puck over to the near side, up the near side boards. And it looked like he tripped there. He got an arm up in the air. What happened? All right, Mammoth penalty. 8:53 left to go in the second period. Dragons will have a 5-on-4 man advantage for a minute 30. Cook and Viviano on the wings, McCoy and Blevins on defense, and Courts for the face-off. Back to Cookie, back to McCoy. Bombs one up the slot, and that'll land in the glove of the Mammoth netminder. 8:46 left to go in the second period. Courts back for McCoy, sends a shot, and one of the Mammoth players will glove that down over the near side. Back to Blevins at the point. Keeps it in, sends it off the far boards for Viviano. And, tries to feed it through some traffic there. Puck's loose in the far side. Centering pass from Courts. Cookie gets in the way of that one. And, oh no! McCoy held it in at the blue line. And back over for Easton Cook on the near side. And Braxton Courts comes in. Peels it out. Back to Blevins at the point. Oh no! Fanned on the shot there. Battles it back over to the near side. And goes with him the whole way up the near side boards. And we got a whistle on the play. Face off in the neutral zone. 34 seconds left in the Dragons power play. 7:57 left to go in the second period. And Courts for the face-off. Slaps it up into the neutral zone, and Mammoth brings it around with some speed. Back to Nafziger. Breaks that play up. Gets it out to the neutral zone. And somebody picked his pocket. Back to Courts. Oh! Yeah, he'll drive it to the outside. Yeah. Back to Moldenauer. Turns it around. Got taken out on the near side. Here comes McCoy. Races it up the near side. Cuts into the slot. Sends a shot. Ah! Blocker save. Mammoth. Courts battling over in the back wall. Sends it up the near side. Boards for Moldenauer at the point. Sends a shot. Off of a Mammoth player. Puck deflected over into the far corner. And we got a delayed penalty on the play. Who's it going to be this time? Oh, maybe not. I don't see anybody in the box. That's good. 7:08 left to go in the second period. Dragons and Mammoth tied at 1 apiece. Moldenauer for the face-off. Over to Duncan Hill. Mammoth progresses further in. Nafziger finds a loose puck. Pass it over to Richardson. Richardson back to Nafziger. Offside Dragons. 6:53 left to go in the second period. Face off in the neutral zone. Moldenauer at center. Hill and Richardson on the wing. Nafziger and Blevins on defense. And Moldy for the face-off. Over to Duncan Hill, and Moldy will drag it into the Dragon zone. Offside again. 6:47 left to go in the second period. Moldenauer for the face-off. And Mammoth collects that puck, skates it over to the near side in the Dragon zone. Moldenauer tried to hold it in. Oh, got past Richardson over in the neutral zone here, and puck goes all the way down to the back wall. Blevins off the far side for Duncan Hill there. Mammoth holds it in the zone. Skates it back, sends a shot from the face-off circle wide and around to the far side. Duncan Hill slaps it behind the net again. Nafziger's going to track it down. Feeds it out for Richardson and out to the neutral zone. Richardson paddles it over to the far side, and Mammoth back to Duncan Hill. He'll send it into the Mammoth zone. And back for Courts. Courts turns it around, races it across the neutral zone, gets past both Mammoth players, sends a shot. Goal, Dragons! Crossbar and down. Braxton Courts goal. 5:44 left to go in the second period. Dragons up by 1. That's 2 for Mr. Courts today. 5:44 left to go in the second. Courts at center. Cook and Viviano on the wing. Blevins and McCoy on defense. Courts for the face-off. Forces it across the neutral zone. Inside the blue line for Cook. Through some feet. Oh, bounced it off a Mammoth player there. He had a guy in front of him there. Courts centered one up. Looking for Viviano. Ooh, and here comes Mammoth. Back out to the neutral zone. Over to the far side. And Blevins will track that down on the back wall. Off the near side, Mammoth keeps it in. And funny bounce. Mammoth got a goal. 5:08 left to go in the second period. Dragons and Mammoth tied at 2 apiece. Moldenauer at center, Ledbetter and Hill on the wing, Nafziger and McCoy on defense. Moldenauer for the face-off. Over to the far side. And back for Moldenauer again. He'll collect. Races it in to the Mammoth zone. And back to the back wall. Still got the puck. Sends it back for Nafziger at the point. Oh, puck bounced over his blade there. And here we come. Back to the Dragon zone. McCoy back to Nafziger on the far side. And back into the center ice region there. Puck comes back over to the near side for Duncan Hill. Races it in up the near side. And back to Blevins down in the Dragon zone up the near side. Get the puck! Here comes Mammoth. Sends a shot. Save Berksey over the near side corner, and puck goes back behind the back of the Dragons net for Blevins. He'll fire it up the far side boards. Mammoth holds it in. Back to Nafziger there, and he'll force it out. Ledbetter's in a race for it. And Mammoth brings it back out of their zone. Back for Blevins on the near side. Pass for Richardson at center ice. And he left the puck behind there. Here comes Mammoth again. Nope. Back to Moldenauer across center ice. 2 Mammoth players to beat. Centered one up in the... Ah! Oh, Moldenauer! Bounced it under the legs of the Mammoth netminder. And Dragons up by 1 again. Moldenauer goal. McCoy and Nafziger on defense. Courts at center. Cook and Richardson on the wing. And Courts for the face-off. Slaps it across the neutral zone. Face-off circle there in the middle. Here comes Mammoth back the other way. Whoa, save Burks. He'll cover it up in the blue paint. Shot right up the slot there. Had a little gas on it. 3:34 left to go in the second. Dragons up by 1. Face-off in the Dragon zone. Courts for the face-off. Sit out of the face-off circle there. Mammoth sends it back to the back wall. McCoy will check it down. Sends it up the far side boards. And Mammoth knocked it down with a high stick off the glass there, but no whistle on that. And back to Courts in the slot. He'll race it across the neutral zone up the near side. Down into the Mammoth zone. And back for Easton Cook. Oh, couldn't get the shot through the feet of the Mammoth players there. There, Mr. Blaze. Here comes Mammoth across the neutral zone and into the Dragon zone. Save Berksey! 2:50 left on the clock in the second period. Dragons up by 1. Face off in the Dragon zone. Moldenauer for the face-off over to Duncan Hill. Clears it up to the blue line. Mammoth holds it in. Sends a bomb up the slot. Save Burks. And back to Duncan Hill on the far side. Looking for Moldenauer. Mammoth brings it, or collects it. Brings it back over the near side. Races it back in. And Moldenauer all over him. Back to Blevins. Oop, fired it off of Viviano's back there. And Mammoth over from the near side. Sends a shot. Right in the net. 2:21 left to go in the second period. Dragons and Mammoth tied at 3 apiece. And we're starting over again. Moldy at center. Viviano and Hill on the wing. Nafziger and Blevins on defense. Moldy for the face-off. Chips it across the face-off circle. And he'll race for it over in the Mammoth zone. Duncan Hill sends it in offside. 2:12 left to go in the second. Face-off in the neutral zone. And Moldy over for Duncan Hill, and he'll dump it all the way to the back wall in the Mammoth zone. Viviano races back for it. in the far corner. And back to Moldenauer on the blue line. Holds it in. Races it up the slot. What do we got here? Moldenauer for the face-off. And Mammoth brings it back across the neutral zone. Blevins will hunt it down. Sends it off the far boards up for Viviano. And he'll collect it. Races it up across the neutral zone. Looking for a cross-ice pass. And Duncan Hill frees it up. Back to the face-off circle. And here comes Mammoth back across the neutral zone. Sigger back to defend, and he'll drive that puck over the far corner. He'll collect that. Races it up out of the Dragon zone. And Duncan Hill sends it in for Mammoth. And puck's still in the zone. Get it, Molly. Oh! And Viviano's still chasing him down over the far side. Mammoth into the Dragon zone. All the way back to the far corner. Get the puck. And Blevins back up to the blue line. Mammoth holds it in. Yeah. Quartz collects it. Brings it up the near side. Three Mammoth players in front of him. Puck gets deflected over to the near side, and he'll send it over behind the Dragons' net. And Richardson gets there, sends it over to, send it into the slot there. Here comes Mammoth. Sigger back to defend. Glove save, Berksy. Hopefully you saw that. 21.9 left to go in the second period. Face off in the Dragon zone. Quartz at center, Cook and Richardson on the wing. Quartz for the face-off. And Mammoth deals it out. Sends a shot on goal. Save Burks. 17.5 left to go in the second. And Quartz for the face-off. Got it through the feet of a Mammoth player there. Shot rang off of Richardson's shin guard and over up the far side rather, and then they'll send it over to the near corner. McCoy feeds it up out to the neutral zone, and they'll call icing on that. 0.4 seconds left to go in the second period. Sigurd and McCoy in defense. Quartz for the face-off, and that's going to do it for the second period, folks. Mammoth and Dragons tied at 3 apiece after 2.
Okay.
All right, let's go Dragons. Final regulation period of the season for the 25-26 Pekin 10 UAA Dragons, ladies and gentlemen. Braxton Courts will be our centerman. Houston Richardson on left wing. Easton Cook on right wing. McCoy and Nafziger on defense. And Courts for the face-off. Sends it across the neutral zone. And Mammoth will send it back across. Carries it in up the far side. Puck's loose in front of the net there, and Burks will make the save. Face-off in the Dragon zone. 11:49 left to go in regulation. Same lineup. And Courts for the face-off. Over to Nafziger. Paddles it up to the blue line. Mammoth sends another rocket through the slot there, and they'll race it down on the back wall. Another centering pass. Mammoth. Ooh, fired another one. Glove save, Burksy. Smell the glove, he says. Or I say. 11:34 left to go in regulation. Courts for the face-off. Slaps it over to the far side boards, and Mammoth holds it in. Sends a shot from the blue line off of Richardson's belly there. Back to McCoy. Sends it off the near side boards looking for Courts, and he'll find him. Skates it out to the neutral zone, dragging it the whole way. And here comes Courts. Sends a shot. Ooh, goal, Dragons! That's a hat trick for Mr. Courts. Send a rocket right up the slot, ladies and gentlemen. Dragons up by 1. 11:14 left to go in regulation. Woo! Hat trick for Braxton Courts. And Moldenauer. That's center. Ledbetter and Viviano on the wing. Nafziger back up to Moldenauer. And he'll send it over to the far side for Viviano. Viviano sends it in deep, and Mammoth will race it down. Skates it over to the near side. And back out to the neutral zone. Nafziger will hunt it down. Nope. And back out to the neutral zone we go. And here comes Ledbetter. Drives it in. Go get it! And Mammoth sends it off the far side boards. Over for Blevins. And pass up to Viviano there. Back into the Mammoth zone. And they'll send it off the near side. Go! Nafziger shot. Ooh, got deflected, and Mammoth will collect that behind their net. And over for Viviano. Back up to Moldenauer. Top of the face-off circle. Back to the back wall. Duncan Hill races back for it. And here comes Mammoth. Back into the neutral zone. Moldenauer drives it over to the far side. And Mammoth will dump it in for Blevins. Blevins paddles it up the far boards there. Finds Moldenauer in the neutral zone. And here comes Mammoth again. Races it over to the near side. And into the Dragon zone. Sends a shot off the side of the net. Mammoth. Pass back up to the blue line. Another shot. And, whoa, shot went wide there in front. Courts will snag that back and carry it back into the neutral zone. Comes out. Oh, centering pass for Hill. Oh, off the side of the net. And Courts tries to chase it back down on the far side. Oh, Viviano almost held it in there. Here comes Mammoth. Yeah, Burksy will dive on it outside the crease. 8:58 left to go in regulation. Dragons up by 1. All right. Moldenauer at center for the face-off. Brings it over to the back wall around the back of the Dragons net. Brings it up the far side. Oh, Mammoth slapped it away from him there for a second. Easton Cook tries to scrape it out to the neutral zone, and I'm guessing the puck went out of play there. 8:44 left to go in regulation. Dragons up by 1. Face off in the neutral zone. Moldenauer at center. Easton, Cook, and Richardson on the wing. And Blevins and McCoy on defense. McCoy shovels it out to the neutral zone up the far side. Back to McCoy again. And back to Richardson. He'll tip it out to the neutral zone. And Mammoth peels it off the near side. Cross-ice pass. And they'll enter in. And back to Blevins. Ooh, can't get on the puck here. Mammoth sends another shot. That goes over to the far corner. And back to Blevins again. Back to Moldenauer. Oh, up to, Easton Cook almost had a chance there. And here he comes. 2 guys to beat. Here comes the third. Sends a shot. Glove save, Mammoth. Face off in the Mammoth zone. 7:52 left to go in regulation. All right. Ledbetter and Hill on the wing, courts for the face-off. And Mammoth grabbed onto that one. Comes out to a Mammoth player waiting at the top of the zone there. And Dragons free up the puck. Duncan Hill brings it over to the near side. Back for Courts. And he'll turn it around. Back to Nafziger. Passes it out to the neutral zone. And Mammoth will collect it. Here comes Mammoth again. And McCoy drives it off the far side. Mammoth holds it in at the blue line. Sends it in deep again. Oh, got a guy in the slot here. Drive him over to the near side boards, and he'll turn it around at the top of the face-off circle. Another pass to a guy at the top of the slot. Sends a shot. Glove save, Burks. Burksy with the hot glove today. 7:05 left to go in regulation, and he needs it. All right, Moldenauer at center. Viviano and Richardson on the wing. Nefziger and Blevins on defense, and Moldy takes the draw, sends it over the far side boards. And Blevins will chip it up to the blue line. Another blue line shot from a Mammoth player, and goal Mammoth. Got a rebound, and we're tied at 4. Starting over again with 6:57 left to go in regulation. Moldenauer at center, Richardson and Viviano on the wings. Nafziger and Blevins on defense. And Moldy for the face-off. Back to Nafziger. And he'll turn it around. Back to a Mammoth player, offside Mammoth. 6:56 left to go in regulation. Face-off in the neutral zone. Ice is slippery today, folks. Same lineup. Moldy for the draw. And he'll send it up further into neutral zone. Puck comes in up the near side for Nafziger. And he'll send it off the near side boards. Mammoth holds it in. Sends a shot. Whoa, blocker save. Puck went deflected to the back wall glass thing, whatever it is, and back up to the blue line. They'll bomb another one. Nafziger's in a foot race for it. Mammoth wins. And over to the near side for Richardson. Get the puck! Back to Moldenauer, and he'll skate it out to the neutral zone. Up the far side. And that one looked like it went out of play. Offside Dragons, 6:23 left to go in regulation. Mammoth and Dragons tied at 4 apiece. Courts at center for the face-off, and Mammoth holds it in the neutral zone. Easton Cook fired it into the traffic there, and here comes Courts with it up the far side into the Mammoth zone. Oh! Oh, pushes it on net there. Save Mammoth, and back over for Blevins. Top of the face-off circle. Oh, fanned on the shot. Oh, he got it back and sent another one up the slot. Back for Mammoth, bringing it over to the near side there. And back for Blevins. Off the near side again. And Courts sneaks it in up the near side. Chasing it down in the back wall there. And got an arm up in the air here. Delayed penalty on the Dragons. 5:37 left to go in regulation. And we're going to have a face-off in the Dragon zone. And we'll be down a man for 1:30. Courts will go off for a penalty there. It looks like a tripping call maybe. Moldenauer at center, Viviano on the wing, Nafziger and McCoy in defense. Moldy for the draw, sends it over to the far side, and Mammoth collects it at the blue line, sends another shot off of Nafziger's chest, and McCoy sends it over to the far side boards for Viviano there. Dragons can't clear the zone, puck went wide of the net. Go get it! Save Burks, jeesh. Blevins snuck in from behind there. I think Nafziger went off to get checked out. I'm not sure if he's hurt or what. And back to Mammoth in the neutral zone. Trying to buy themselves some time to get onside there. And Viviano got in the way of that. Over to Moldenauer. Mammoth peels it off the near side. Moldenauer's hunting for it. Puck comes back to the back wall for McCoy. Sends it off the near side. Mammoth collects. Another shot, glove save, Burks. Wow. 47 seconds left in the Courts penalty. 4:54 left to go in regulation. Moldenauer at center. Moldenauer for the face-off, back to Blevins. Sends it off the near side. Not out. Here comes Mammoth. Shot the puck right at Moldenauer, and he's going to pick that up. Skated across the neutral zone. All the way down. Shot from the face-off circle. Went off the side of the net, and Moldenauer got taken out. We got a penalty on a Mammoth player there. So it'll be 4-on-4 for 27 seconds, and then we'll get Courts back. Moldy's down still, so players will take a knee. Hopefully he's okay. He's on his feet, folks. We go back to the bench and get checked out. 27 seconds left in a 4-on-4. Face off in the Mammoth zone. One more! And Viviano will join Blevins at center and Cook on the wing. Yeah. We'll try to track that down on the far side. Mammoth brings it out to the neutral zone. Dragons in hot pursuit. Back to Easton Cook. Back to Blevins. Beautiful pass. And puck got stripped over to the near side in the Mammoth zone. Ooh, puck's loose. And Viviano. Oh, off the side of the net there for Blevins. Blevins. And puck's still loose. Blevins collects it again. Dragons full strength. Here comes Courts. And from the top of the face-off circle. Uh-oh. What happened? Courts blew a tire there. And back across the neutral zone we come. Go! Knapsager races across the neutral zone. Ooh! Oh, man! Pass to McCoy. Pass to... Oh, get it in there, get it in there. Oh, we got a whistle on the play. 3:30 left to go. In regulation, 26 seconds left to go in the Dragons' power play. Face off in the Mammoth zone. Oh, looks like Viviano's going off. So, 4-on-4. And Courts back to Cook. Cook sends a shot over the net. Back over to Duncan Hill on the near side. Feeds it back into some traffic there. And Cook back to Courts. Courts sends another bouncer. And Mammoth tried to clear their zone. And McCoy held it in, but here they come. Knapsager back to defend. Save, Berksey. He'll glove that one down. 3:08 left to go in regulation. Face off in the Dragon zone. And Mammoth will get a guy back here in 4 seconds, it looks like. From the face-off, Mammoth bombed one in from the blue line over to the near corner. Blevins will race it down on the back wall behind the net. And sends it up the near side, looking for Cookie. He'll feed it back out to the neutral zone, and Mammoth will turn it around. Duncan Hill strips that puck. Back to McCoy. And he'll feed it out to the neutral zone. Go get it! Blevins collects it in the far corner. Back off the far side for Duncan Hill. Scrapes the puck out to the neutral zone. And pass up to Mammoth, I guess. And they're going to bring it back. Offside, Mammoth. 2:16 left to go in regulation. Dragons and Mammoth tied at 4 apiece. Face off in the neutral zone in front of the Dragons bench. Moldenauer at center, Richardson and Ledbetter on the wing. Knapsager and Blevins on defense, and Moldy for the face-off. Over to Richardson. Tries to paddle it off the far side there. Knapsager will strip that puck. Skates it behind the back of the Dragons net. Oh, got tripped there. And we'll have a delayed penalty on Mammoth. Face off down in the Mammoth zone. The near side dot, Moldenauer at center, Courts and Cook on the wing, Knapsager and Blevins on defense. And Moldy for the face-off, right to Braxton Courts. Ooh, bombed a shot right off of a Mammoth player. Back to Blevins in the slot. Sends a shot off of a Mammoth player, and they're going to send it out to the neutral zone. Knapsager races back for it. Sends it up the near side. Mammoth collects. And puck's loose. Knapsager will scoop it up. Dangles around one Mammoth player. And he's off to the races. Oh, got stripped in the Dragon zone, but he'll race back for it on the back wall. Centering pass, looking for Courts. Oh, dang, right off of a Mammoth player, and Cook sends another shot. Mammoth gloved it down. Loose puck, and save Mammoth. Face off in the Mammoth zone. 1:24 left to go in regulation. And Dragons are still on a power play here. Moldenauer for the face-off. Back to Blevins. Blevins shot. Oh! Save Mammoth. They'll cover it up again. Moldy for the face-off, back to Blevins, sends a shot. Glove save. And another. Netminder will cover that one up too. Let's go for one more here, boys. 1:14 left to go in regulation. 32 seconds left in the Dragons power play. Moldy for the face-off, back to Blevins, sends a shot. Ooh, wide and off the back wall. Yeah. Go! Nafziger catches it in the neutral zone. Tried to send it up. Back to courts, to center ice. And he'll bring it back in, up the slot. And can't hold it in the zone. Viviano. Over to the near side. Sends it deep into the Mammoth zone. And Mammoth collects it behind their net. It's like Mammoth player stick lifted Moldy's stick there. Go! And save Burks. Back to Courts. Courts collects it. Whoa, blew a tire there coming around the corner, and Mammoth turns it around. Moldy trying to attack. Back to Moldy again. And Blevins sends it up the near side or far side for Moldy. Gonna race it across the neutral zone. Ooh, lost it on the foot of a Mammoth player there, and they'll dive into each other. Back to Moldy. Oh, got tripped. No arm in the air. That's going to do it for regulation, folks. Well, I don't know if we do tie. I think we do ties, so I think we might have won the tournament here. We'll have to see what they come up with. I'm not sure. As far as the points race is concerned, we should, well, I'm not sure. I really don't know. It's got to go off of a goal differential, probably. All right. Let's see what we got here. Looks like it's 3-on-3, I think. Four on four. All right. 4-on-4, sudden death for 5 minutes. Let's go. That to period 4, and Courts for the face-off. Mammoth brings it into the Dragon zone. Here comes Nafziger, back into the neutral zone. Go! All the way down and up the near side. Stops on the near boards there and sends it behind the back of the net. Courts sends it over to the near side. Go get it! Back across ice. Nafziger's gonna foot race for it. And they'll send one behind the back of the Dragons net over to the near side for Blevins. Blevins up for Courts. Oh, got the puck stripped there. Here comes Mammoth. Sends it back across the neutral zone again. And Courts comes in. Here comes Blevins. Brings it back out. Races it across the neutral zone. 2 guys to beat. Sends a shot off of a Mammoth player. And Mammoth will collect that. Back out across the neutral zone. And Nafziger strips the puck. Brings it over to the near side. Pass to Courts. Back to Moldy. And Moldy shot. Loose puck. Ooh, puck comes over to the near side for Blevins. Blevins fired it off a Mammoth player. Here they come. Yeah, Nafziger intercepts that shot, sends it over to the near or far side boards rather, and Mammoth brings it back around. Oh no! Save Burks! Back over the far corner for Nafziger. He'll send it up the far side boards. Mammoth holds it in. And back to Blevins. Off the near side for Courts. And here we come. One guy to beat. Oh, bombs it wide of the net and over to the far side. He'll race it down over there. Back off a Mammoth player again. And back for Moldy. Back to Blevins. Sends a shot wide off the back wall. And the Mammoth netminder will dive on top of that. 2:49 left to go in overtime. Nafziger and McCoy on defense. Blevins for the face-off. Noah Viviano on the wing. Blevins for the face-off. Puck comes over to the near side, and Mammoth collects it. Tries to muscle it up the near side, but McCoy will catch it at the blue line. Sends a shot. Glove save. Loose puck. Oh! Blevins peeled it out of the crease and had a shot, but it looked like it went wide. Here comes Mammoth back into the neutral zone. And McCoy got in the way of that. Here comes Mammoth again. Nafziger back to defend. And he'll take a shot off of his body there, blocking that over to the far side boards. Here he comes again. Back up the neutral zone, up the far side. 2 guys to beat. Oh, left it inside the blue line there. Mammoth turned it around. And he'll race back for it. 2:07 left to go in overtime. Back to McCoy. Sends it over to the near side for Viviano. And Mammoth collects. Yeah! McCoy strips that puck, passes it over to Nafziger, and he'll send it off the far boards for Moldenauer in the neutral zone. Scrapes it in to the Mammoth zone. And Viviano, ooh. Go get it! 1:38 left to go. Comes McCoy up the near side. All the way down. Got a guy in front. Oh, stopped, got tripped, arm up in the air, and we're gonna close out the overtime period with a 1-man advantage, ladies and gentlemen. Unless something else dumb happens. Face off in the Mammoth zone. 4-on-3 for the remainder of regulation. 1:24 left to go in overtime. Moldenauer at center. Courts on the wing. Blevins and Nafziger on defense. Moldy for the face-off. Back up to Blevins at the blue line. Oh, puck squirts out to the neutral zone, and Nafziger will get there first. Turns it around. Dangles and rips it back into the Mammoth zone. Chases it down on the back wall. Looking for a centering pass, and it comes back to a Mammoth player. Here they come. Back across the neutral zone. Yeah, we got a Mammoth guy out front. Courts drives that off the back wall. Back for Blevins in the near face-off circle. And here we come. 50 seconds left in overtime. Starting now. And Nafziger races back. Blevins stops the shot. Here comes Moldenauer up the near side. Across the neutral zone with some speed. One guy back to beat. And cuts in front of the net. Ooh, pass to Courts and fanned on the pass there. And here comes Mammoth back across the neutral zone. And Blevins will drive him to the outside. Up the near side for Courts. He'll race it across. Sends a shot. Glove save. Loose puck. Oh. 9.7 seconds left to go in overtime. Courts at center, Viviano on the wing. Blevins and Nafziger on defense. Courts for the face-off. Over to Viviano in the slot. Oh, puck still loose. Back to Courts. Back to Nafziger at the blue line. Sends a shot. Fans on it. And, Got a guy out in front for Mammoth. That's going to do it for overtime. So, now I don't know what we're doing either. Doing a shootout? Looks like I smell a shootout coming in our future, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Sterling Burks will take his place in net. First shooter for your Pekin 10 UAA Dragons, number 33, Mr. Jet Nafziger. All right, folks. And Nafziger collects the puck. Skates it up the slot. Sends a shot. Save, Mammoth. First shooter for Mammoth. Can't see his number. Number 90 something. Whoa, no goal. Ring it off the post. Second shooter for your 10 UAA Dragons. Number 19, Grayson Blevins. There he is. Man. Grayson Blevins takes his turn in the shootout. Here we go. Picks it up at center ice. Brings it up the slot. Sends a shot. Goal! Dragons! Blevins goal! That'll put the Dragons up by 1 in the shootout. And second shooter for Mammoth. Collects the puck. Brings it up the slot. Save, Dragons! Burks makes the save. One shooter left for each side. Here comes Braxton Courts. Third shooter for your 10 UAA Dragons, number 7, Braxton Courts. Collects the puck. Brings it up the slot. Shot. Save, Mammoth. Dragons still up by 1 in the shootout. I think Mammoth has one shooter left. I think. Final shooter for Mammoth. Brings it into the Dragon zone. Save, Buxton! And your Dragons are victorious in the UHT Madison Winter Cup for the final game of the season. Dragons finally win a tournament this season. Heck yeah, for the last game. And they'll be bringing home some hardware, putting the trophy case at Pekin Veterans Memorial Arena. We'll change that to a 5 as your Dragons are victorious in the championship game of the UHT Madison Winter Cup. Thanks to everybody for watching. This is 33's Daddy. We had a great season. It's the final final 10 UAA game for the channel here. We'll be changing the name here sometime this summer, probably for the 12U team, because my son will be moving up. But there you go, folks. Close it out with a big W.
I'm sure that's why the other kid wasn't there, and I'm sure that's where that kid went. You know, like.
Anyway, thanks to everybody that sponsored, everybody that watched. We'll see you next season on the 12U team. Looking forward to that. Hopefully we can get enough skaters for the spring team. If anyone out there is 2014 or 2015 birth year and you're interested in playing spring hockey with the Pekin 10U or Pekin 12U Dragons, please let us know. Or any team or age group for that matter. So send an email to the board or get a hold of a board member and let them know you're interested if you haven't done so already, and maybe we'll see you this spring. Everything's kind of up in the air right now. I'm not real sure if that's going to pan out or not, but we're hopeful. All right, folks, I'll go ahead and sign off. We'll take it from here. Thanks again for watching, folks, for the final 10 UAA game of the season here. 33's Daddy signing off. Let's go, Dragons!